Hello, and welcome back to the Coop de Villa channel. I'm Noah Fisher, and today I'm joined with Scott and Tommy as we're going to review the Rennes game, the final game of the preseason, and give you guys our Premier League predictions. That's going to happen after this.
Okay, so yes, we are back, and Villa were back in their preseason tour against Rennes over there in France. Looked like a great weekend. Saw the Villa on tour boys over there. They looked like they had a blast. Nice weather in France. You know, lovely little cafes and bars and pubs and everything. So it was good to see another solid turnout from the Villa Army on the preseason tour. Made me a little bit sad that, you know, they'd left Australia and the fun times that we've had recently, but it's good to see you guys from the UK have a bit of it as well. And it's all gearing up, Tommy, for Bournemouth this Saturday, the big one, the start of the season. How are you feeling after the Rennes game? And what are you looking forward to for the Bournemouth game?
Well, I think we're all a little bit sick with Leon Bailey fever right now. He's on fire, that guy. I'm feeling very optimistic. I think, you know, Rennes actually had a pretty good season in Ligue 1, and, you know, we played some fierce comp. And you know, preseason, you see some EPL sides field a nearly full lineup and they're losing. So I think the fact that we're carrying a winning momentum is great. I'm excited. I think we've got a pretty great squad this season. You know, fantastic news to see now that Arch has been declared part of the integral mix. So we'll probably touch on that shortly. But no, I think we're going to look pretty good. Carlos, Kamara, Bailey, these are guys that I think we've all been watching in preseason. I think Carlos has been the most impressive by far, and I think that's something we've been lacking, in previous years. So, no, really excited. I think we'll be coming away with 3 points.
Yeah, Carlos was fantastic, Noah, as well as, Kamara, Bailey. Anyone else that impressed you against Rennes?
I mean, everyone really played their part, in my opinion. I think obviously Coutinho's free kick was so close to being perfect.
Oh, yeah.
I think, you know, players a bit slow. I mean, picking up Watkins, I think still needs to go up a little bit more. Obviously, Coutinho has a little bit more to go as well. But, I mean, for signings-wise, Kamara looks like the real deal. Rolls-Royce reads the play. Like, he reads the play so well that intercepts. Like, he's reading the game before it happens, in my opinion. Like, he's just pure class. And to be able to watch it up close was a good thing. And, yeah, I mean, just can't wait for the season. And I agree with Tommy, 3 points coming back, first game of the season.
I hope so. Yes. I think the only negative maybe from the Rennes game was some of our defending off the set pieces. Obviously they scored, went 1-0 up from a corner. I think it might've been Kamara that lost his man on that one. But yeah, it seemed pretty straightforward, and they had another corner in the second half that they almost got something from. But apart from that, like Tommy said, this team finished fourth in Ligue 1 last season. I think they just missed out on the Champions League, because I think it's top 3 in France that go through to the Champions League. But, you know, they're a top team. They'll be playing European football this year. And we made them look pretty ordinary for most of the match. Yeah. Tommy?
Yeah, absolutely. I just think the whole Ming's being stripped of captaincy and then drops a bit of a weird one. So, you know, I mean, we're touching on this. It's probably a bit of controversial.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go next. How do you feel about that?
Well, what they say on social media and what happens behind closed doors seems to be very different. You know, Freddie Gilbert, we always used to advocate for him, you know, he's Villa through and through, you know, he should be given a chance. And then after what I heard about Aman, and he's a bit of a prick apparently. So,
look, Tommy, it was mostly you that advocated for him.
He was one of our better players when he played for us. So I just found it funny that he was banished. But yeah, maybe a bad attitude. And I wonder if Mings is the same. Maybe he's had a bit of a tantrum. I mean, he can post what he wants to get the fan on his side, but just to be dropped altogether. Like I don't even know why McGinn was made captain. I thought it would have been Ming still, to be honest, or maybe Emi Martinez. But I feel like McGinn's actually more replaceable than Mings. Now that we signed Carlos, everyone just assumed it would be Carlos or Mings with maybe Chambers as number 2. And that was the other thing, to play Conce in front of Chambers. It seems like the seconds were basically playing Fulham, and the starting team against Bournemouth were once fielded against Rennes.
Yeah, that's definitely what it looked like, Noah. We had Callum Chambers, Buendia, Tyrone Mings, maybe a couple of others that I can't think of at the top of my head that played on the Friday night in a 1-0 win against Fulham. And then this looked like it was, a dress rehearsal for the season and maybe the starting lineup for Saturday.
I mean, if that was the starting lineup that came out on Saturday, I'd take it. I think it's a very, very strong team. I think touching on what Tommy was saying about Chambers being starting, but I think Conce's back. I think in the preseason I saw, first of all, to recover from an injury that's significant so quickly, and then he didn't really put a foot wrong against Man United when he played. I think he's probably earned his spot at the moment. Yes, Chambers is very, very good, and that's what we want. We got competition everywhere. Like even someone like Marvelous Nakamba can still push players to grow and grow and grow. So
exactly,
look,
and JJ's wasn't in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
So
that's another one.
Like Stevie G said in his interview, I'm not sure you guys watched it on Villa TV, that no one's shirt is safe, and that's the attitude you got to have. Tyrone Mings, I know he was captain, and he's been at Villa for so long now, but just because he's played for us for so long doesn't mean he's earned the shirt. I mean,
and if Gerrard didn't trust him, and we all know, Mings can make a mistake. He didn't have the greatest of seasons last season, made a few bad errors that led to goals. Then, this shows a lot of strength from Gerrard to say, okay, you're a good player, you're a good character, but you're not my type of defender. I don't want you in the team. I'm going to take the captaincy off you. It's a tough decision, but
I think for us, Carlos should be paired against, the best centre back. Not Carlos's job is to make the other centre back look better, because, if there's a weak link, there's a weak link. You've got other teams, they've got analysts and all these fucking nerds. They're the ones that are going to expose those weak links. And let's be honest, I love Mings. I think he's great, but I think, he's it's those mental lapses. And whether it was captaincy, whether it was pressure, maybe it's just a bit of a spud mentally. We don't know that. But, I think he's always had that mistake in him. It's probably the most common perception from all Villa fans. So, I don't know. Yeah, Constance a rock, but I'm just surprised. I was really impressed with Chambers. Feel bad for him. If we slapped a 10 million, 15 million price tag on him when we bought him, we'd probably play him. But because he was a free agent signing, I think, I find it weird. I think he's been our best centre back prior to the Carlos signing, which again just goes to show how good of a signing Carlos is. Because, he's just the automatic right now, and he's scored. He's an absolute beast at the back.
And he was announced as in the leadership group. So
fair play.
Yes, fair play. And he's just got through the door. So he's obviously, made an impression.
He doesn't even speak English. And the other thing is, how are you going to tell a guy that big no? Part of the leadership group. If he tells you otherwise, you listen. I am a bit pissy. I do wish we did go for Tarkovsky as well, because I've been keeping an eye on Everton, and he's been an absolute beast for them as well. So if we had him and Carlos, I think that could have been a mean centre-back pairing for a while.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. But it looks like it's going to be Carlos and Konsa. And like you said, Noah, I have been impressed with Konsa and his preseason. I think he's looking more confident again. He's looking quick. He's looking fit. He's obviously he's been working hard, and it's going to be really interesting to see which way it goes with the Tyrone Mings thing. I feel similar to how I did with Dean Smith when he was fired. Thank you. You did a great job. You've probably taken us as far as we can go, and we probably need a step up in quality, just like when Gerrard came in for Dean Smith.
Brings me back to my previous comments previously, when I think there was something about if we had 35, 40 million for Mings, you wouldn't take it now based on this situation, because Chambers and Konsa are probably on par with Mings. And if you can get 40 million for someone who's really going to just potentially park the pine, we don't know if he is. Maybe it was a statement by Gerrard. Maybe it was just gap match fitness, whatever it is, wants to give the others a run. Would you take 40 million for Mings and ship him off? And yes, maybe we probably replace him with another real quality centre back now. Because we all had this debate.
I wouldn't be surprised, because Tyrone Mings is on the fringes of the England squad, and there's a World Cup round the corner. So I could see him going out on loan or something like that, definitely. But I wouldn't want to see it, But if he's not in the starting lineup, he's going to start thinking, come the end of August when the transfer window shuts, I need to be playing.
Yeah, and whenever I see Newcastle linked with any players, I just think you can absolutely finesse them now with their oil money.
Definitely.
That's it.
Speaking of finessing with money, a certain someone hasn't lived up to their price tag, apparently, being rated 6 out of 10, and that's Mr. Grealish.
Yes, I saw that. And then he got linked back to us, but that's not going to happen. He's going to play for Man City for this season, and then if he's still 6 out of 10 every week come the end of next season, then we can maybe talk about a move. But I think he'll feed Haaland quite a bit, and I think it'll be like Ollie and Grealish. He knows how to do that.
And it's dependent on where we finish at the end of the season too. I don't think he's going to want to come to a bottom half team because he's going to want to also develop his game.
Well, look, I don't think we need him. I don't think I would take him.
I think we don't need him. Honestly, this is going to be controversial. I've made a few things, but I put Buendia ahead of Coutinho any day of the week right now. Any day of the week.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't disagree, apart from the fact that Coutinho and Gerrard seem to be best mates. So I can't see that happening. But yeah, he's definitely had a better preseason. He was very good against United when he came on. Yeah.
Grealish would actually start on that left of the front three, where Coutinho, you're playing there, he's just a bit lost. He needs to play behind the two forwards.
I just think we've gone past him now, boys. I just think our team has grown and grown and grown. Who do you drop? I mean, we've got someone like Emi Buendia that's our record signing.
It would be more like a 4-2-3-1 is what we should be playing.
Yeah. Look, that's all pie in the sky stuff, but let's get onto a bit more pie in the sky stuff, and that is our predictions for the season. This is why we're here. So I'm going to start with you, Noah. I want your top 7, your European places, Villa's place, if they are in that top 7 or not, and the bottom 3.
All right.
Go for it.
So I've just put on a tier maker, so I have it right in front of me. I'll start with the bottom 3. I have coming dead last Bournemouth.
Right.
I just don't think they have enough to offer this season. I don't think they've improved enough, sadly, for them. And one of them's quite a controversial call. I think that Southampton will go down this season. I don't think they've improved enough. They've lost their striker that was on loan from Chelsea. I think they'll come.
Broja, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Broja, and they haven't replaced him. I mean, Adam Armstrong, whoever they had, he hasn't lived up to their price.
But they got Trey Adams. He's all right too.
Yeah, but again, he didn't bag in the goals last season.
They did get some French youngster that I heard, but no.
He's like a winger. He's like I don't know.
And they got that Aribo from Rangers.
Yes.
I just don't think they got enough to offer this season. And another one, a team that's lost both their best players, who I saw us playing in pre-season. I think Leeds United will go down.
Leeds will go down. Yep, I'm with you, Noah.
Interesting. All
right. So I'll go top 6.
Yep.
I'll give you top 7. I'll give you
top 7 European places.
I got West Ham coming 7th. I think they're just they're a good team now. Kept Declan Rice again. I think they'll be all right.
Samaka is going to be 'Good for them too.
Man U 6th.
Saka's done.
I think they'll be 6th. Man U. They'll keep Ronaldo. He'll be all right. 5th, I've got Arsenal. All or nothing. They're getting nothing again. Not getting Champions League. 4th, Chelsea. 3rd, Tottenham. 2nd, Liverpool. And 1st, Jack Grealish getting his 2nd Premier League medal. Man City, which will win the league. And Aston Villa to finish 9th.
Okay, Tommy, your turn.
I was thinking 9th as well, Noah, but I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic. All right, so I'm going to start from the top. I'm going a bit controversial this season. I'm going to go with Chelsea winning the league because they have been recruiting left, right, and centre, and just why? Chelsea going to win the league. I'm saying Chelsea.
They've got no striker.
Chelsea.
They haven't replaced Lukaku. Okay,
doesn't matter. He didn't even score, so it can't be any worse. Anyway, I'm going to go Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal 3rd, Liverpool 4th, Tottenham 5th, United 6th, West Ham 7th, us 8th, and I'll go Wolves 9th.
Okay, and the bottom three?
I think we'll bottom three. I think it'll be Bournemouth, Leeds, and I don't know. Like I'm always saying Fulham are a Mickey Mouse team. So they're
I
up
just
there.
think they've
they're like
improved enough.
Nah, they're like the Wish.com version of Norwich. It's always them up 1 year, down. If they're not down this year, they'll be down next year. So I'm just going to go this year.
They're always guns
I
in the
know, but
championship,
they've made some really, really good signings.
But the problem is, they sell those signings off.
I know, but they're getting Leno in goal. Leno is going to be in goal. Kevin and Babu, they've got some good players.
What, Leno from Barca?
From Arsenal.
Babu's a bit of a FIFA beast,
He's still good for Wolfsburg though.
He's
still good,
but he's more of a FIFA beast than a real life beast. Yeah, in FIFA, he's loved by one and all. But I will go. My top 7 will be Manchester City, Liverpool, Spurs. Then I'm going to go Arsenal. I think.
Yeah. I think they'll do well.
Yeah. But these 3 are really tight. Arsenal, Chelsea 5th. I think are just going to miss out just because too much going on there at the moment. And then Manchester United 6th. And 7th, I'm going to say Villa. Why not? We're going to scrape into the Europa Conference or whatever it is and get 7th and have a great season. And then the bottom 3, I think it'll be Bournemouth last, Fulham second last, and Southampton. I agree with Southampton. I think that it's probably their time.
Even with Husenhitl there, I think when he leaves, they're buggered. I think they'll do all right under him. He's a good coach, Scott. You look at the Rennes.
I think he's a good coach, but I just think they are kind of treading water a little bit. And I mean that it could be them, it could be Leeds, it could be a number of Forest. It's not easy to come up, but I like some of the moves that Forest have made. So they're the one promoted team that I think will stay up.
Oh, just a bit of a digression. Speaking of forwards, freaking Wesley on the score sheet for, was it Levante?
Yeah, in pre-season. Yeah, fair play.
Good on him. Good to see, mate. Honestly, he's been getting some harsh titles. I thought he was actually doing quite well when he had that, career-ending injury.
Mm. And he went on loan to someone in Brazil last season, and he wasn't even playing in the squad. He was playing like state league type football, like NPL level. Football in Brazil, and I was worried that his career could be over. He'll just take the rest of his contract from Villa and that's it. But yeah, Levante are yeah.
Hopefully
he does well there.
I hope he does.
Yeah.
Can I say I did a FIFA simulation. I put all our signings in, see how Villa would go, simulated the whole season, and we came 5th.
Oh,
5th. Danny Ings and Watkins. Watkins scored 17 goals. Danny Ings scored 13 goals. And Coutinho, by the way, 10 goals, 13 assists. It's happening. FIFA says it's happening.
Yeah,
it's happening.
I wonder if he's more. I reckon he's more settled. See how it goes.
I don't think Ollie's scoring 17 goals.
Mate, if FIFA says it's happening, it's happening. All right. It's happening.
Okay. All right.
I thought I'd throw it in there because I did try it.
You lost me at Ollie scoring.
Yeah. Yeah, that's becoming a bit of an issue. He doesn't look very high on confidence at the moment. He's fluffing chances. I mean, the 2 chances he missed against Rennes were bad in 2 different ways. The first one, he just dilly-dallied on the ball when Bailey set him up with pretty much an open goal. And then the second one was a header where most number 9s you think would at least get it on target, and it didn't go anywhere near the goal. So yeah, I was a little bit worried.
Yeah,
yes.
But, and he's got a finishing coach as well, so you think he'd be a little bit sharper after all that.
Yeah. So we've done the Premier League predictions. Let's do some Villa predictions, and we'll start with player of the season, young player of the season, surprise of the season, and maybe disappointment of the season. Noah?
So we'll start with that. I'm going to go player of the year. I'm going to go.
We'll be playing this back at the end of the season. So
I know.
yeah.
I know. No, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go. I was going to go Coutinho, but I'm going to go Matty Cash.
Okay.
Different. I'm going to go Matty Cash because if you look at what Gerrard does with his fullbacks, right? Tavernier always used to bomb up the field, get heaps of goals and assists.
Right.
And he started doing that a lot for Gerrard. So I think he's going to get a lot more involved this season. Young player of the year is going to be Timmy. Timmy, I think, is going to do well. Or Cameron. I'm not sure if he can still win it. I don't know what the age bracket is there. Was it signing of the season? Is that what you said? Signing?
No, I said
surprise of the season.
Surprise of the season and disappointment of the season.
Surprise of the season, Cameron Archer. I think he's going to have a great year off the bench or starting for us. Disappointment of the year. I'm going to go with Danny Ings. Something a bit different. I think that, I don't know. I just think that the number 9 shirt, Chelsea have theirs cursed. I think ours might be a bit cursed at the moment as well.
What are the categories again, Scott?
Player of the season, young player of the season, surprise of the season, and disappointment of the season, player-wise.
Right. Player of the season, I'm going Carlos, mate. This guy's a colossus, and he's just going to he's going to keep that defensive line to make sure we get that 5th in Noah's fantasy league.
It's going to happen, mate. It's going to happen.
I've got him on my watch list.
I think he's been a colossus. Look, I don't want to pick two, but it'd be him or Kamara. Like, both of them have just been so consistent. And when you sign world-class players, I'm telling you, Kamara was linked with all the big clubs, and he's one of the hottest prospects on the planet for his age. Young player of the season, I think, will be Archer. Surprise of the season, I think, will be Bailey, because he's in red-hot form. And if he can continue this form, you'd be silly. And I think in order for Archer to shine, Watkins will get benched this year. It'll be Archer and Ings, 2 clinical forwards, because like you said, Ollie's missing chances that he shouldn't. And Archer scored some crazy goals. He scored with his head against Chelsea. He'd be putting those goals away. So you've got a young, hungry, clinical forward licking his lips, waiting for his chance, and his Villa through and through. He's going to take Ollie's spot, I reckon, 12 games in, if that. I'm calling it now. Watkins went up. He didn't score in his first 8 games last season, Watkins. Now we've got a hungry forward that's ready to come. I'm calling it.
You've heard it there first, folks. Tommy is one for big predictions. He's done it again. Ollie Watkins will be out the team by the World Cup and gone. See you later. So that's a big call.
And controversial. If we are not in the top half mid-season, Steven Gerrard's gone.
Wow. Okay. I think that's pretty unlikely, but
he's been given the war chest, Scott. He's been given the war chest. Short time frame, mate.
Okay. Well, we'll have to wait and see. But I'll go with my predictions. And my prediction of Player of the Year, Kamara. I just think he's a class above everything we've got pretty much in the team at the moment. Even Coutinho, I think he's just on a consistent level, hungry. He's got a World Cup ahead. He could win that World Cup with France if he gets in that squad, and I think he's going to have a big, especially the first sort of half of the season. I think he'll have a big season. What's a young player of the year? I'll go with Cameron Archer too. I just can't really see it being, maybe Tim. But yeah, maybe JJ again. But I think that midfield's a little bit sort of more up in the air. I think Archer will get chances, especially if you say that Ollie's going to, keep missing chances and keep, disappointing.
I back Ollie, but I'm just saying stats are stats, Scott.
My surprise this season is going to be Konsa. I think he's going to bounce back, and I think him and Carlos are going to complement each other. You've got the sort of the positioning and the sort of football intelligence of Konsa, and you've got the pace, the power, of Carlos, and I think they're going to work well together. And disappointment of the season, I'm going to go with Bailey. Unfortunately, I think he won't quite be as good as we hope he will. And that's just from, he gets injuries, he gets,
Yeah.
I just think after this preseason, we've built him up a bit, and I'm not sure he's quite going to get there. He still might have a decent season, but I don't think he's going to have maybe as great a season as some of us hope.
I think he was impressive, and that was against a full-strength United defense. So,
that was before they made the sub. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. He scored against them there. And again, even Rennes, he's just continuing that. So I will back him, but you're right. Injuries will hinder him. But, I think if Gerrard's banished Traore and a few others to the Bs, you clearly see something in Bailey and he's going to back him the whole way now.
Yeah, so, well, I hope I'm wrong on that one. I would love to see Bailey just have a stellar season, a breakout season. I do think he's a good player. I would start him against Bournemouth, but,
I think with Ollie as well, I think it's psychological. I think he's now inside his own head, and that's why he's hired the finishing coach, because that could be like some football trauma now, because he knows if you're missing sitters, your job's to put the ball in the back of the net. If you're not performing at your job and you're getting extra help, at some point you get let go because you're not good enough. So again, Ings, it's preseason or not, that guy comes on, scores some goals from ridiculous angles. He knows where the back of the net is, and unfortunately, Ollie doesn't. If we could, combine them into one hybrid player, we'd have an absolute unit on our team. But unfortunately, we've got two different forwards. Yeah, it's not the Karoo Allahor. They actually don't complement each other one bit.
Well, no, they haven't worked so far. But on paper, when we signed Danny Ings, I did feel like they would complement each other. You've got a runner, someone who's really quick, someone who works hard, and then your natural finisher. But yeah, it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. So let's go on to most goals and most assists. No,
most goals. I think it's gonna be
Ollie. It's a tough one.
I think it's gonna be Ollie. I think he's gonna have a bounce back year because he still hit double figures 2 years in a row, right? But I think he's gonna have a great season. I honestly reckon we get around 15, 16 goals this season. Yep. That's what I'm calling. And most assists, I'm gonna go with Leon Bailey.
Interesting. What about you, Tommy? Most goals, most assists?
I think it will be. Hang on. Sorry. I don't know. I want to say Bailey, but I feel like it's
most goals.
Goals. Sorry, goals. I'm going to go with Ings. He's a goal machine. Ollie's a workhorse, so I'm going to take the goal machine to find the back of the net. I could be controversial and say Archer, but I'm not going to say it just yet. And I think most of the things, assists, I think it'll be Coutinho. I think Naz a little bit settled. Yes, he's patchy, but, some of these, I wouldn't say, the crappier teams, I think that's where he shines. Even if he shines against them, bag a couple assists a game. So I think Coutinho most.
I'm going to say Ollie for most goals and Coutinho for most assists as well. But I could see Buendia or someone getting most assists, or Bailey, or even McGinn. It's very kind of up in the air. With we don't really have, like we did when Grealish was here, like a go-to man as a provider. We sort of share that role around quite a bit. So, but yeah, you would think Coutinho will start most games. Ollie should start most games for the start of the season, at least. And yeah, they're the two that I'm going to go with.
As much as I say Cameron Archer will come on for Ollie because of his goal drought, I know what Gerrard's like, and I know for some reason Ings is easier to always replace, and it makes no sense. But that's my theory anyway.
Well, maybe Ings and Archer will be on the bench.
Oh, yeah, we'll just go with the forward who's not scoring. We're apparently going to score goals.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Accepted. Ollie, I'll have the whole pie. I'll have the whole humble pie. I won't just have a slice. I'd love to see me goals.
I would love to see Ollie have a big season as well. I think he needs to.
I mean, this is Villa related, but who's going to get leading Golden Boot in the EPL, you reckon?
I think it's still going to be Salah.
Yeah.
I think
I'm going to call Jesus. It's a bit of a dark horse, but Arsenal playing some good football, man. They're really on the rise. Zinchenko, great addition as well.
He'll play every week as well. As that number 9, they don't really have anyone else there. Whereas, I know Salah does play every week, but they do kind of switch around a bit. City switch around a bit. I think Haaland will have a good year. I just think he might, take a few games and maybe be rested for a few Champions League games and things like that.
Cool. What's that term they use in basketball?
I don't know. Point.
No, it's a term LeBron James uses for preserving his energy.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I think they've
resting.
definitely bought him for the big games, the Champions League games, and I'm pretty sure he'll be playing in them. But yeah, this is more about Villa, so we'll stick on the Villa train. Any more predictions that you can think of? Anything that any kind of wild cards? Who do you think's under the most pressure this season? Is a good one.
I think Steven Gerrard.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Steven Gerrard's under the most pressure under anyone
100%.
at the moment. I mean, yeah, we've finished 14th or whatever it was last season, but I mean, look at the players he's brought in. Look at the caliber of players he's brought in.
Yep.
But then again, if you replace him, Noah, if we replace him, like you're probably not going to be attracted with that caliber of player.
That's what I mean. But I still think he's under
Wouldn't have
pressure.
got Coutinho. Wouldn't have got Coutinho. Just that ripple effect of Kamara, Carlos. We wouldn't have got them.
He wants the Liverpool job, right? He wants the Liverpool job.
Yeah, right.
He's under the most pressure from himself. I think he knows he has to perform well. But besides that, we're going players wise. I think that Coutinho he's the third most expensive transfer of all time. If you look at it back, what Barca paid for him, I think he's under the most pressure as well.
Yeah, I think it's more like tip of the iceberg. That was maybe a couple of years, and he's definitely on the decline. But again, if he's near the tip, that's all right. We don't mind.
He's still good.
Well, let's go through the team. Martinez under no pressure. He'll start every game this season. Matty Cash,
no pressure.
I actually think he is under pressure just because Kessler Hayden is banging down the door. That I think he's under a little bit of pressure. I think, he's not pressure free.
No, that's true.
Okay,
I think Conce is under the most pressure because he's got Chambers and Mings sniffing up his ass, and centre back one bad game, another one comes in. Mings might not put a foot wrong all season, so you've lost your spot again.
That's a good call. I think Carlos, no pressure. Digne, no pressure.
I mean,
I don't know.
He's got a little bit because Augustinson.
Digne's injured. He's always injured. So, I love him, but we haven't had about half a season we get out of him.
So you think, could you see Augustinson starting over him?
He can.
I can't.
Not over him, but it'll be based on fitness. And look, I hope Digne has an injury-free season, but he's had some pretty niggly things that seem to sideline him for a match or two.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, and then midfield, Kamara, probably under pretty safe. John McGinn as captain, captain.
That's the problem. As captain, I think he's got more pressure as captain now.
I think he'll thrive under captain. I think he will. I think he'll thrive.
Hope so, as long as he's not dancing in his job again.
I think he had a bit of a disappointing preseason, but there was signs in that second half. There were signs in that second half again. Rennes, he was coming back. He was starting to. The game got very slow and pedestrian at one point, and then he started taking over and knocking balls in and being a lot more kind of on the front foot. And I was like, "Oh, this is good." He's starting to dictate.
When he doesn't overdo it and does what he's really good at keeping it simple, driving, give it off. You don't take 2-3. Do a little hip turn. Stick to what he knows best, and he's a star. Don't get me wrong.
Dougie Luiz. Well, he's the one that played against.
He's under pressure because I reckon if he doesn't sign a contract, I think he's probably parking his ass on the pine.
I think because of the contract, we can definitely put him in the under pressure bracket. And then the front three, Coutinho, we've already spoke of under a lot of pressure. Ollie Watkins maybe under the most pressure.
Yeah,
all three are under pressure, Scott. All three are under pressure. No one in that front three, Coutinho, Watkins, Ings. None of them are guaranteed a starting spot because you've got Bailey, you've got Archer. Bailey's red hot form. He's probably going to start over one of them. You've got Archer just breathing down the neck of Ings and Watkins. A couple of bad games, goal drought. Gerrard's not afraid to change it up because, like you said, his priority is on Liverpool at the end of the day. And he's going to say, well, I've got to go with what gets me closest today. If I can climb the ladder by playing Archer a bit because he's younger and he's scoring, well, it's going to make him look better too. He's not afraid to make cutthroat decisions. I think the Mings, there's a lot more going on with that than people realise.
Look, I think it's basically he just doesn't fancy him. And, that – and that's if that's how he feels, then he's done the right thing. But I want to thank Tyrone Mings. If he he's been great for us, and I do feel bad for you. But at the end of the day,
it's like Al Ghazi done a good job for us to a certain time. But we need to say, hey, we're heading in a real. We've gone slowly like this. But if we're going to go in a crazy direction, we've got to make sure we're ready for that. And just the likes of Carlos, just as good as Mings was, he was our best defender, Mr. Consistent. Or consistently starting, whether he's consistent, that's different. Carlos just puts everyone to shame right now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's it for our predictions, everyone. The season is here. I know we're all excited. So please let us know, who do you think's under the most pressure? What do you think about the Tyrone Ming situation? Do you think he'll start against Bournemouth on the weekend? Where do you think we'll finish? Who's going to get the most goals? Who's going to get the most assists? Just like we've been talking about. Please let us know in the comments. Please like and subscribe. All your support over this preseason with Villa being in Australia has been excellent. We've loved to have you on board, and we've got a big year of Coop de Villa coming up. So please click that notification bell, and you will know the next time we drop a video. Tommy?
So I think Troy's under the most pressure with Aman waiting.
Yeah. Aman is pushing hard. It's definitely.
Maybe Nick might look for predictions, but I think Troy's leading that race.
Oh, that's great. We'll leave on that. That was fantastic. Up the Villa, and we'll see you all next week.